we managed to save these clients $50,000 just from getting this property before the first open home. So today I'm going to run you through how we done it, how we managed to move so quickly that the agent had to take our offer, and how that helped this family get into a property in such a tight time frame. But before I jump into that, hey, I'm Nathan from Invision Property, a Brisbane-based buyer's agent, where I help families and investors get into this tough market. In these case studies, I like sharing client success stories to give you a good understanding of different strategies you can implement yourself when you're buying your next property that could save you thousands of dollars. So this family was located here in Brisbane. They just sold their townhouse in Greenslope. So they're under contract. They've then gone unconditional. Their sales agent then connected them to myself. So what happened was they had been looking for nearly a year and 3 months, and they just kept missing out on properties. They just weren't quick enough. Like, both of them were working. They had 2 kids, and they just were very time poor. And back in 2019, this was probably January 2020, the market was so hot, and you really had to be on top of when the listings came up. And you also had to be at the open home, put in a solid offer as quick as possible so you didn't miss out on any opportunities. So once I sat down with them, I learned about what they were looking for. They then said, yep, let's jump on board. We only have 4 weeks to get a property before we are moving out of this one. So I'm going to jump on. I'm going to show you this property. It's located in a suburb called Holland Park. They really wanted to stay within that area because it's got a very good school catchment. The Cavendish State High School is one of the top 4 schools, public schools in Brisbane, and Holland Park generally is a very family-orientated suburb. I've spoken to them probably about 6 months ago, and they are loving the street that they moved into. It's just a really nice community, and they're really thankful we got them into this property. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the actual property itself, and I'll run you through the strategy on how I actually secured this property, and we moved very quickly. So they came to me with a brief that they wanted 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and they wanted to get it under 1.1 million. At the time, that was a very hard ask for Holland Park, but the way that we done it was really creative. So essentially, this property went live on the Wednesday. I knew the agent very well, and I asked her if she could get us through that Wednesday night. We managed to get through the property, and they turned around and they said, Nathan, I absolutely love it. Can you buy it for me? So what I done was then I got the contract off the agent. I sent it off. We put in an offer at $1,010,000. So I knew that they wanted over $1 million, but I didn't know exactly when. And the one thing that I knew was there's all these other sales around the corner that had already sold that guaranteed this property was easily worth 1.1 million. So then they counted at 1.1 million. We're very far apart. I then went back at $1,050,000. This was at 8 o'clock at night. They then counted at $1,060,000. We got this property under contract on the same day of it going live at 9 o'clock at night. I guess why I like to share that is that was so crucial in the positioning of getting this property under that 1.1 mil. We got it under contract that night, and at the first open home, they had it offer at 1.1 mil. And this family, they could sleep like a baby at night. Like they were stressing. They only had 4 weeks to go. So once we got this under contract that Wednesday night, they were able to relax. They went to the open home that Saturday, and there was a lot of inquiry. But the thing was, they didn't have to stress because we already had it under contract. I've now been living in it for coming up to 2 years. The property is now worth at least 1.4 million. So this property here has had around $250,000 of capital growth in less than 2 years. And it's had a lot more capital growth because it's in one of those suburbs that is roughly around 10 k's from the CBD, but there's other parameters around this area, Holland Park. You're close to, the a lot of the major hospitals are south of the river. You've got easy access to the CBD. There's multiple roads, and then also you got easy access to the Gateway Highway. It's situated perfectly. There are some pockets within Holland Park you got to be careful of where there's public housing, but all in all, this part of Holland Park was a very good spot. A very good spot. It's a very appealing spot for buyers. It just borders onto Coorparoo. So now with this, there we go. One sold for 1.9 mil, and we brought this one for $1,060,000. So the value is definitely there. The property was in very good shape. It had a pool, big bedrooms, and if you want to see these clients left these particular clients left a YouTube testimonial video, and I think that's like a good spot to check out, because she sort of shares how she was a bit scared. We went to go put the offer in, and she put in all of her trust into me. But that's the biggest thing. Like I've mentioned this on all of the other case studies. It's around understanding your market and knowing when to push really hard and get the deal done. And you have to be very confident with knowing your numbers, because when it comes to negotiating, it's so important. It can mean tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands on your next property purchase. So I hope sharing that success story with that client and showing you how much money they've actually made in the last 2 years as well from buying in a very good suburb, that and straight off the bat they save 50,000. If you implement these strategies when you go to buy your next family home, you can save yourself tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands on your next property purchase. If you are looking to buy your next family home in Brisbane, feel free to reach out through my website, Invision Property, to book on a free one-on-one Zoom strategy where I can learn about your situation and try to share some tips and tricks to help you achieve your goals. Or alternatively, you could come on and be one of the small number of clients that work with me to get really great results. Other than that, thanks for watching. Check out some of my other videos where I share other tips when buying your next family home.